Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Purple Breakdown. I am your host, Alex, and I'm so excited to be back here on another episode with you. It has been a wonderful week and an amazing Monday so far. The weather is perfect out there right now. It's sunny and gorgeous. The Masters just got done, and wow, what an ending with Rory winning. Great time. I'm loving to see it. Playoffs are starting here for the NHL and NBA. Baseball's in full swing. It's a great time to be around. I hope everyone's enjoying their time and is going to enjoy this video. But first, as always, if you like the content that you're hearing, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. Those three things help so much and help the community continue to grow. We're still at 82 subscribers, and thank you to all of you so much who did subscribe and are part of the community and help it continue to grow. And if you want your comments featured in the video, all comments do get featured in the video. So thank you all so much for joining in and listening. Let's dive into it, but first off, a little bit of news. I know I said I was releasing a special on Friday with a Bengals fan who came on the podcast and talked, Josh, and he did do that, and we do have that recorded. I am continuing to edit it right now. It will be coming out soon. It'll actually be coming out in a 4-part series, so I'll be releasing 5 videos for it. One will be the full video, and then there will be 4 different parts if you want to specifically listen to one part. That'll be easier for you to navigate that way. I thought we would be probably maybe an hour and a half long. We ended up talking for about 3 hours and 49 minutes, which is why I'm splitting it up into 4 different parts. So if you want to listen to the full 3 hours and 49 minutes, you can do that. I will have that video out as well as 4 others which will be more specific and breaking down each part that we more dove into. And so you can go out and listen to that. It gives a really good breakdown of the AFC North and how the AFC North is going into this year and the draft and the dynamics between the Bengals and the Ravens. So sorry that did not come out on Friday. It has just been a lot of editing, and I'm still continuing to edit that all out and break it out so that it's in a very smooth way and that all 4 videos do operate very well. So just be patient with me on that. Thank you so much. That will come out here soon. I'm hoping to have that fully out either tonight or tomorrow. I just wanted to get this episode out. Let's dive into it. Let's go with comments first. NTE, you are up. First you go, let's prove those haters wrong. Let's go make a deep playoff run ending with Lombardi in his hands, referring to Lamar Jackson. I want to prove him wrong too. I want Lamar to host that. He hosts that. Hoist that trophy up above his hands. It'll be a time to remember, and the rest of the league will be hating on us a little bit, but that doesn't really matter to me. We will have won. I want that win. I want to see it happen and for it to continue and go into your also all the other comments today. You said, yes, like my football coaches say, the standard is standard. The Ravens absolutely need to play the standard or above if we want to win a Super Bowl run this year. That's absolutely true. The Ravens have a standard that they operate through and out of, and an expectation that the fans have set, as well as the coaches and the culture that has been there before in the past year and well, really 2 years has not lived up to that standard on certain sides of the ball, and it's got to go back to that standard. Like what you said in your next comment, the Ravens offense was already at a Super Bowl level in 2023 and 2024. We've seen how explosive they can be right now. We're just missing a few key pieces to get back to that level. I would say there's lots of the key pieces on there already. They've got most of the pieces. Some holes did open up and are being addressed and fixed, but like you just look at it, and I agree with it, but you got to play to the standard, play with execution and how the Ravens play normally. And you do look at that 2023 and 2024 season and why those seasons, and it was just because of one dumb thing at a time. So we'll see how it goes going forward. I'm expecting the standard to be upheld this year, and if the standard is not upheld, I want consequences to those who are not upholding it. That is what needs to happen. I want to see that. I want to see the win. The Ravens have the pieces. I talked last time and in this past video on Friday that you'll see here soon, and we talked about it, that the sense of urgency that's coming up as the team continues to get older, and it needs to get younger and will get younger, especially with all the draft picks and free agents that got brought in, and some of them are being younger. But Lamar's not getting younger, and parts of the team are getting older that have been central to the team, and that urgency is sort of getting lit there where it needs to come and it needs to happen. And I fully believe it will, be it this year or next year, and I would hope that it would be this year, and I want to see it this year. That's what I want to see. They have the pieces. They just need the execution and to go that way fully. And I believe Minter can do that. Even though Minter's had no head coaching experience, he is a shoe-in for how the Ravens operate. I mean, he is the perfect fit for the Ravens organization and how the Ravens can play. And that's why I think he's going to do so well. So I want to thank you so much, NTE, for commenting and those 3 comments. If the others would like to have their comments featured in long-form videos, please remember to comment. And we'll jump into the juicy stuff. Thank you all so much for commenting. Thank you, NTE. Let's go into it. So the draft is approaching. The draft is approaching and coming up this next week. It starts April 23rd and will go through the 27th. So not this Thursday, but next week, Thursday, will be the draft. So we are very close to it, and lots of news is continuing to come out about it, and specifically how the Ravens are operating up going before. We talked about how the Ravens still have some holes that need to be addressed, be it center, interior offensive line with the guard and center, wide receiver, tight end, interior defensive line, so on and so forth, linebacker a little bit, depth at linebacker. That all needs to be addressed. And some people are saying that the Ravens should go through first and address some of these issues by trades. And Christopher Knox, who's part of the Bleachers Reports, he came out and actually gave 2 takes towards trades that the Ravens could try and target and do. And the first one is trading the first-round pick this year for George Pickens and bringing George Pickens in to be that wide receiver that the Ravens need, that explosive, big-body, contested-catching wide receiver. I know earlier I put out a video about how George could definitely be that, and looking at the situation of the Ravens now and the money that position that they're in, it's really not in a good situation to do that. Zay is going to be getting a large-term contract coming up here, and so they really don't have the money to pay 2 wide receivers that much money, especially since George will be getting a larger contract, and I expect a larger contract than what Zay will be making. Zay will be making between that 30, 32, maybe $33 million range per year that he'll be getting paid, and George could be making a little more than that. They're already paying down at Dallas CeeDee Lamb $34 million, but I know Jerry wants to keep him around, but they could consider going away from him. But for the Ravens, to me right now, this doesn't make much sense, giving up your first-round pick, especially with how desperate they need this draft pick now, and to fill the holes that are there. There's good talent that's up there in the upper echelon of the draft. And I mean, you look, there's the top talent, and then there's good shoe-in talent, and then there's a little drop off before it comes back up. And Josh went very deep into that in the video on Friday, and so please give that a listen to about the draft and how it's going to look. He is very knowledgeable in the draft. It's amazing to hear how much he knows about it. But I look at it, and the Ravens really need this first-round pick this year, and I think giving up it for George and having to pay him, I believe his contract for this next year would be $27 million in a cap space. It would suck up so much, and the Ravens wouldn't be able to address as much what else they needed in either after the draft through free agency or before the draft. And so as much as I'd love to see George Pickens on the team, and I think he would love playing against the Steelers and sort of showing off against them, and it would make Steelers fans absolutely miserable, and he would do amazing on the Ravens, I just don't see it as a fit right now. I think it's something that if the Ravens didn't have a true wide receiver one in Zay, or a large contract like that coming up, then maybe they would go for it, but they don't, and they still need to get a long-term contract done with Lamar, and so you don't know what the money's like in the future, and you're just not ready to dive in and do that yet. So that's why I don't think the Ravens would make that trade right now. He also said that the Ravens could trade for Cole Kmet, and I do actually like this one a little more, because Cole Kmet is a good receiving tight end on the Bears. He would have had experience with Declan Doyle. And I mean, you look at what his contract is, it's not as much. I mean, he's making about $11 million cap space, $11.6 million over the next 2 years. So you get him for 2 years, and his stats aren't bad. You look at his time in Chicago, his best season was 2023 for 719 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. So if he could get that at 9.8 receiving yards on average per target, like per reception, that's pretty good and very good for what the Ravens could do. And the Ravens heavily used tight end formations, could get more out of him. And now he did have his targets go down this past year a little bit. He went from, 2023, why he did so much was he had 90 targets. And this past year he had 55, and this previous year he had 48, and he had 30 receptions for 347 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he was also not the number one tight end on the team anymore. He was sharing the load there with their rookie tight end. And so you look at that and it's like he could do very well and perform at the Ravens. And I mean, he'd be coming in at 27 years old with plenty of time still left ahead of him. And he's from Notre Dame, so he'd have plenty of connections with on the team with Notre Dame players that are already there. So they could do that. I think that if that would be something that they do, it would probably come after the draft, in my opinion, and that wouldn't be an issue they address at this moment. It would be something they'd do after the draft, especially if they don't take, say, Sadiq or another big tight end in the first or second round. Then they would lean that way after the draft, sort of like for a center, if they were going to go for Ethan Pokic off the Browns, then they would lean that way after the draft and after the June 1st deadline to not give up a compensatory pick or to not involve too much of this draft afterwards and fix it then. And I would like Kmet on the team. I think he would do a very good job on the team, and he'd be lethal there and wreak some havoc in the AFC North, and it would complete the tight end room. But we'll see if they do that. Again, if they do it, it would be after the draft. But we don't know. We have to see how this draft pans out. We will really see what moves they make after the draft, because I think they're sort of done right now before the draft. I think they've settled in, are sitting, are going to go, all right, we've made our moves. We know sort of where we're at right now. Let's do the draft, and then we'll have a second wave of free agency across the league where people grab the remaining stuff they need, and that will be the time where the Ravens will make a few more moves. So that is the big news for today. I want to jump in real quick and talk about the first 3 rounds, because the first 3 rounds are going to be very important for the Ravens and the way that they go. I look at this, and the Ravens need to focus on, in my opinion, 3 big main points. They need trench in the first few rounds, those first 3 rounds. They need trenches. They specifically need interior defensive line depth to help support Madubuike and Travis Jones, as well as interior offensive line depth there, or starting guard, and especially starting center. If you believe that Emory Jones Jr. will be the next starting guard, then maybe you don't need as much there, but you still want to put pressure, so I still see a guard coming in there. But without a doubt, they need a center, and as well as some extra weapon to attack for Lamar Jackson. And so I'm looking at these 3 different positions, different things, and that's going to dictate the first 3 rounds. Now, you're still going to draft what's best available there, but I think it needs to address those issues. And so in the first round, there's a few different options. There's Spencer Fano and there's Vega Iona. Those are the 2 most popular ones right now going to the Ravens. Fano is because he could be moved into either guard or possibly center. He has the size, he has the quickness, he has the measurables there, but measurables are not everything when it comes to the draft, so he would be a popular one there. Vega is a popular for guard and would be an immediate starting guard for the Ravens. After actually talking with Josh a little bit and looking at this, I feel like first round, if you're looking at weapons that would make the biggest impact on the Ravens, especially in the AFC North, Kenyon Sadiq is a massive one that would be an immediate starting tight end for the Ravens, would be the stretching the field vertically tight end. Is an okay blocker, not as good receiver, not a good blocker as he is receiver, but he could play at both blocking and receiving and would be the shoe-in for the future, that when Andrews' contract is done, Sadiq is the tight end of the future. And also Jordan Tyson. I really like him. He's got larger size. He's got a lot of athleticism. You have to look and make sure the health is there and can be sustained. But if you bring him in at wide receiver, you've now got a big-bodied wide receiver who can be your deep field threat more than whatever Rashad Bateman ever could be. And you have a true potential receiver to step up and be a great receiver. Zay will be a good, solid receiver, a lower-end wide receiver 1, but Tyson has the potential to be an all-pro or Pro Bowl receiver that can constantly be there and possibly even outmatching Zay. And I lean towards Kenyon or Jordan Tyson or Kenyon Sadiq in the first round for the Ravens, and I really like the 2 of them. Preferably, I'd actually go Sadiq over Tyson, but that's just because I think Sadiq would fill in so much better with the Ravens. I think Tyson would be an amazing Raven and play very well, but Sadiq would truly fill what the Ravens love doing, which is operating so heavily out of the tight end formations, and you would have that receiving tight end back that Lamar could rely on in those key situations like he did with Isaiah Likely. Now in the second round, the Ravens, I think, have the perfect opportunity here to look towards the trenches a little more, which is there's some names in here that if they don't get a wide receiver in the first round, they can go Chris Bell. Chris Bell will be there, and yes, you can talk about his injuries, but he's also got the size that the Ravens need at this point. But I'm looking more towards Chase Bisontis for guard and possibly filling him in there, or Peter Woods if he could survive. I don't know if he'll survive to the Ravens, but that would be a big pickup, and also Emmanuel Pranon, but I don't know if he'll survive. I think Chase and Chris can definitely be there, and this is also where I start thinking Logan Jones you may take a swing on him early. Logan Jones would be a hot commodity in my opinion at center, and this may be a time where you take a swing on him, but I think you can wait till the third round to get him. This is where you start debating, especially how much do the Ravens want him, but I think looking at this round, Chase could be a massive big pickup here, and then in the third round, I look and I think there's some big names that I like. I think the biggest name I like here is I think you can get Logan Jones in the third round, without a doubt. And I like him the most. I think he is the best starting center that the Ravens could get and pick up this year, and either grab another veteran center to start over him for 6, 7, 8, whatever games they want to do, and then if they don't feel confident, put in Logan Jones, or if they feel confident, have him sit a year, and then the next year he is the starter. I think he can be the next starting center for the Ravens and be a great Pro Bowl level center, and so I really look towards him, and I like him a lot. Danny Dennis-Sutton is also here at edge. Darrell Jackson Jr. needs to get a shout out to look towards that interior defensive line, and then Zachariah Branch and Malachi Fields could also be put in here, and whether or not they want to go that way. But I think those are the names I really look towards. I like Logan Jones the best here, and if I was going to say my perfect draft up to this point, it would probably be Sadiq, then Chase, then Logan at this point. And now all those are offensive picks, but the Ravens could use a lot of help there. And that addresses your center, addresses and puts pressure on guard, and it gives you a tight end that completes the room, and it's a tight end of the future, a center of the future, and then a guard that's going to put pressure on Jones and Voorhees and have a chance at starting himself. And so that helps solve your guard position as well and gives you depth there. And so that's what I'm looking at in those first 2 rounds. So those are the players I'm more looking towards, and I'm curious to see if they've completed their board at this point. I bet they're wrapping it up and getting it ready. And I'd like to say we know exactly who they want off of top 30 visits right now, but that's really not true. Again, top 30 visits are cool, but everyone has them, and a lot of the players travel across the league to multiple different teams, and multiple teams have interest in them, and it's just showing like they're having a conversation, but the chances are that player might not end up there where the Ravens are picking, or that the Ravens even truly want them. There's they desire there, and they want to talk and see them, but the chances are most of them won't end up on the Ravens. So that is all I have for you today. It is a quick episode. I mean, only about 18 minutes right now. And I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and joining in. Again, I will get that long video out here soon, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. Just give me a little more time to finish up editing. It is 3 hours and 49 minutes long, and I did have a little bit of a busier weekend, especially yesterday and Saturday. I mean, I drove out to Indianapolis, and I was running around yesterday, so I had a little bit of a busy weekend, was trying to edit in between them. In between those times, but I mean, it's just so long of a video. It's a great video. I 100% think you guys will all enjoy it. It was a great time, and I had a lot of fun. I know Josh did as well, and I think it's going to be an amazing series of videos, or if you just want to watch the full long one, you can as well. But I will have that out either tonight or tomorrow. I'm hoping tonight. It's going to take a little grind to get this editing done. So I want to thank you all so much for joining in and stopping by. If you like the content that you are hearing, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. Your comments get featured in the long form videos and get the shout outs, as well as Spotify do the same thing. Follow, review, and leave a comment. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and joining in, and I can't wait to talk to you all next time. And on April 16th, which is only 3 days away, the Ravens reveal their new uniforms, which they teased the videos of multiple different Ravens, including Mentor, Lamar, Zay, Derek, and guys in company being brought in and shown those uniforms, and they all really like them. So I think we're going to like them as well. Can't wait to see what they are and what they look like. So stay tuned for that. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and joining in. Have a great rest of your day.